Welcome back to Fox 5 on the Hill this Sunday morning. The November elections in Virginia will decide the offices of governor, lieutenant governor, and attorney general. We're going to continue our conversations with the candidates this morning. We're pleased to welcome in the Virginia Republican candidate for lieutenant governor, John Reid. Good to have you here.
Hey, thank you.
Good to talk to you.
Glad to see you.
When you and I talked earlier, when you were first were able to secure the lieutenant governor nomination, you said you wanted to talk plainly to people, and that's been what people know from you in your career. You're a broadcaster as well, too. When you look at how this race has gone so far, there's been a lot of bad publicity about fundraising, about polling. Is this an early stumble on the Republicans' part, or do you have time to right this ship on the GOP?
Oh, my gosh. We're in August. We've got plenty of time. And I went back and looked at the numbers previously, and whether it jived with my recollection of where Republicans often are in August. And I think this is on track with where Glenn Youngkin was 4 years ago. Polling-wise. Now, Glenn Youngkin, of course, had enough money to write a big check and kind of right the ship on his own. And I'm out knocking on doors saying, hey, if you want to prevent some of the leftist ideas that I think are tanking education and institutions in Virginia, I need you to play in this matchup, even if you're excited that Donald Trump's in the White House. You know, some of the core Republicans, I think, were very pleased with the results of the last election, and I got to get them engaged here.
Let's talk about some of these issues, because you mentioned education. There's an investigation going on right now into George Mason University. The Trump administration says the president of that institution has not been following civil rights law when it comes to DEI hirings as well, too. There have been actions throughout the Youngkin administration in regards to school districts like Loudoun County and their policies on gender issues with students. Where do you stand on that? And should the local school boards be handling that, or should the state government be handling it?
Well, the local school boards are in charge until they break the law. I mean, DEI has got to be gone in Virginia. It is a reverse racism. It is doing damage. It is sowing the seeds for racial animosity and conflict that will last for generations to come. And one of the things that's frustrating to me is Virginians discussed this 4 years ago. We had a big conversation about it. We discussed it during the last election cycle, too. And it's clear that Virginians don't like the idea of choosing who wins and who loses, who gets opportunity based on skin color or national origin. It should be a meritocracy. The leaders of the schools, the universities, and some of the leaders, school superintendents, refuse to take direction from the governor, from the General Assembly, from the board that the governor appoints. I mean, we're in a real tussle right now over who gets to actually make those decisions. And I think it's got to be the elected officials.
Let's start with the economy. There's been some numbers of late showing that unemployment is spiking in Virginia, and there could be a direct line to the federal layoffs that have been going on.
Oh, I don't think that's surprising.
Well, I want to ask you about that, because recently your running mate, Winsome Earle-Sears, the candidate for governor, was asked on CNN whether she agreed with these federal layoffs, did not want to talk about the question. Can you at least talk about the question and whether you view the spike that we're seeing in inflation right now based upon these layoffs by the Trump administration on federal jobs?
The unemployment in Virginia. Yeah, look, this is a horrible situation for people who were employed in Northern Virginia. I was a federal employee. My partner is a federal employee who has left federal service because of the DOGE cuts. Just to be honest with you, we're feeling it in our household. So you're never going to hear me mock or ridicule or laugh at somebody who's lost their job. I've lost my job twice. It's terrible. We're $37 trillion in debt right now. The president said he was going to come in and make some very uncomfortable, dramatic changes, which he's doing. And the good thing, if there is a good thing, is that this is Northern Virginia. It's a robust economic ecosystem. There are other opportunities. And that doesn't feel good when you're the one that's got the pink slip, I know. But if I had to lose my job, and I have when I was living up here, this is the place I would want to be. And I think Governor Youngkin has taken steps to try to at least make the options that are out there available for the people who are looking. I think this is going to balance out. And that's different from what you see if you lose your job in Southwest Virginia or Southside.
by its nature, the Virginia Constitution spells out the governors can serve one term. That's not necessarily the case with the lieutenant governor's job. But because the lieutenant governor right now is running for governor, you have this opportunity. People might look at this and say, well, is this going to be a second term of a Youngkin administration, or are there things that you've seen over the last 4 years almost that you would rather have done differently?
Oh, gosh, I think Glenn Youngkin's done a great job as governor. I mean, are there things that we disagree on? I'm sure if I went through the litany of all the decisions he's made, I'm a little maybe more aggressive than Glenn Youngkin. He's very conciliatory. But in my remarks around the state, one of the things that worries me is that we've reached a place in Richmond that is similar to what I experienced when I worked in the Senate up here in D.C., where no one can get anything done because they're at each other's throats. I'd like to find some common ground with Democrats.
Is that
I've done
possible?
that my whole life. It's possible.
Yeah.
It's possible. You got to show up with the right attitude. And I'm going to show up with the right attitude. I'm a Republican. I'm relatively conservative. I'm a different type of Republican. You know, my life has been one foot in a world that hates Republicans. You know, as a gay Republican, I got to tell you, this has been tough to navigate for 30 years. I've managed to do it. I've managed to do it pretty well on some social issues, and I think I can do it with the other issues that we're going to deal with at the Capitol.
All right. Well, we appreciate you coming in studio.
Yeah, I'm always glad to see you.
Sitting down with us as you're out on this campaign trail right now. Virginia's a big state to cover.
8.5 million people. I'm driving all over the place.
That's a lot of gas mileage. John Reid is the candidate for lieutenant governor for the Republican Party in Virginia. We appreciate you joining us.
Always. Have me back, please.
We will.
Okay.